right, guys. Welcome back to another episode of Target Talk. As always, we are your hosts. I'm Justin. I got Mike.
What up?
And we got a very special guest with us today, Sage.
What's up? What's up?
He has created a great app called Artist Connect, and we are here to talk to him about it. But first, how are you doing, man?
Chilling, man. I just right now it's Ramadan, so I was fasting, and it's like at the end of the fast, you got to get something to eat because you've been fasting the whole day. But I timed this episode to get here right after, but I didn't get that food in, so I'm feeling a lot better after getting that sandwich. Shout out to right on target. They made sure I stayed on target first by getting a sandwich in, so I'm happy about that. I feel good.
I'm glad you were able to do that. We couldn't let you go through this podcast without having something on your stomach, man. Like that's real.
But yeah, other than that, chilling. I'm enjoying Texas. It's been 2.5 years now that I've been here, that I moved here, but loving it.
That's great, man. Well, yeah, so you're from Hollis, Queens, home of some hip-hop royalty. What was that like growing up there, and how did it shape your perspective on the music industry?
Growing up there, I could honestly say it feels like I grew up in like an energy that generated the Nicki Minaj's, the Run DMC, the 50 Cent, the LL Cool J, that whole energy. It is a very special energy. I can't even explain it unless you're from there, but it's a great place, and I grew up around hip hop and R&B. It was surrounding me. Everybody I knew, that's the main music that they listened to. You know what I mean? Nobody was from where I was from until later on that I found like one kid that's like, oh, you from Pakistan too? Like Pakistan, you know what I mean? Like it's like, oh yeah. But other than that, it was like I was like infused into the hip hop community. Like grew up there and just kind of I'm a part of it. I don't know how else to explain it.
Right.
Who was some of your favorite artists growing up? Was it all just local, like Run DMC? Or?
I mean, I always liked a little bit of everything. Run DMC, of course, when I was a kid. My brother used to play, my older brother, he used to play Run DMC records, the vinyls in the house. And I used to love Run DMC. But then he would also play like Rakim and, you know, Eric B. and Rakim, and then he would play EPMD and some of the other hip hop acts that were like, you know, maybe local in New York or more known in New York. LL Cool J, of course, you know what I mean? Like Mama Said Knock You Out when I was a kid, I was just like singing that like every day at one point. And but as I got older, of course, you get into other artists from other boroughs like Nas, you know, a Jay-Z and like other artists. Wu-Tang was a huge thing when they came out. That was huge because Wu-Tang was from Staten Island. And Staten Island was the borough that, like, nobody was really talking about it. Like, everybody was either from Queens or from Brooklyn or from, you know, Uptown, Manhattan, whatever. But Staten Island, when Wu-Tang came out, that was like, yo, it was like a new discovery. Like, it's us, but it's like, I don't know, I can't explain it. It's like a new tribe formed within our own city. Like, it was crazy. So, but it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah. So when did you realize exactly that you wanted to be involved in music?
So when I was a kid, I was fascinated by sound, like specifically, because my brother had a boombox, like those old big boomboxes, like from the 80s, and his had like the treble, the bass, like a little basic EQ on it. And I was just blown away, like, yo, it makes it sharper, it makes it bass more, whatever. And this is with a cassette, you know, player. So, and then I had the ability to record. And back in the days, it was like these big buttons. You had to press the play and record. It was mad heavy. And, of course, as a kid, my brother already had the vinyls, so I wasn't doing anything with his records. But I used to play video games. And I like video game music. I think video game music from back in the day is probably better than a lot of stuff that's out today. I don't know how that is, but that's how good music was back then, that even like video game music is better than a lot of music that's out right now. So I used to take these cassette tapes and I used to put them in the boombox and I used to record my favorite video game music. And then I used to like mess with the EQ and stuff like that. And I don't remember anybody telling me to do that. I was just doing that on my own. My cousins were playing baseball in the backyard and they were calling me, and I was just busy doing that. Nobody told me to do that. So I guess you could say I found my passion early, you know? And I just stuck with it. And then in high school, I was making mixtapes. And then eventually I was like, you know what? I want to be a sound engineer because that's really what I'm doing. I used to record me and my boy used to record in high school. We used to just rap for fun or whatever. Then I was nice with the recording, and my boy was like, yo, I was like recording other people. Then I was like, yo, I should just go to school for this. So eventually I went to a trade school to become an audio engineer in Long Island. It was called RD at that time, but now they renamed it to REI, Recording Engineers Institute. So I graduated from there 2003, and then I started my own music studio in 2005. Wow. And I had took $11,000 of saved up money to build a home studio from scratch, like to build the booth, everything, buy all the equipment. And it was a massive success because I was really good at what I did. And, word of mouth and a little bit of advertising. I was using MySpace Music at the time to advertise. Yeah. Uh-huh. And MySpace Music, I got in so early that they didn't have a limit on how many messages you could send. So I was, every artist on MySpace Music in New York City, I sent them a message that said, here's a before and after clip of what your music could sound like working with me. So I got a bunch of artists, and then after that, it was word of mouth, and I just been a recording artist ever since.
Wow.
Yeah.
So were you sending them their songs?
No. I took one song that I had done, and like I had like the unmixed version, and then I had the mixed version, and I made like a little preview clip, and I was like, yo, look, check this out. Like this could be how your sound could be. Yeah. Before and after, in case you was trying to record at home. Yeah. It's not gonna sound as good as you come to me.
Yeah, MySpace, man, that was a very underrated place for musicians.
It was fantastic.
Like I discovered a lot of music on MySpace of artists that I don't even remember who they are anymore. But like, discovered a lot of music on
there. So you decided to take the audio engineering course instead of continuing your own music career yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I dabbled in it, but like it was the early days of like somebody from my background wasn't really accepted. You know what I mean? I wasn't like a criminal. You know what I mean? I wasn't like in jail or shooting people. I wasn't in a gang or anything like that. I was just rapping because I liked the art form, you know? So I guess you could say I didn't really pop. Right. Maybe now if I came out, it'd be different because the culture is totally different than, the late 90s and early 2000s.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just loved working with other artists anyway.
Right.
You know what I mean? And like my skill as an artist also helped me be a better engineer because I was helping rappers fix any issues that they had in their records and stuff like that because I'm thinking like a rapper. Right. So I was able to help them out with that, and that made me a better engineer than somebody who just stop and record. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
You work with a lot of artists, huh?
I work with mostly independent artists. I did work with some major artists, DJ Khaled, a while ago. This was like almost 15 years ago. And then I mixed a song for Wyclef. I mixed a song with Jada Kiss, Freddie Gibbs, Tony Yayo, Lloyd Banks. Not Lloyd Banks. Styles P. A couple of big names, but mostly 99% is independent artists on the come up. Yeah.
You say like you work with independent, but you just name like a lot of heavy hitters. You're very humble about it.
I had to like just drop a couple of those and just let you know. I could have done that and stayed
DJ
on that.
But Wyclef, Jada Kiss, Styles.
I like helping people.
Yeah.
And I think that artists that are already beyond the scope of needing help, I mean, they're in a different lane. But when you're on the ground up and you're trying to achieve and make a product and that feeling of like, wow, I did that, like, I love helping somebody see that, know. And then once they go outside the scope of, if they get signed to a major label, which we'll get into that, it's the whole reason why I made Artists Connect.
Yeah.
But, once they get to a certain level, then they're outside of the scope of what I like to do best, which is helping artists grow to a point where it's like, all right, now you're good now. I could take the training wheels off.
Right.
You're a man now. Go conquer the world.
Yeah.
I taught you many things.
Pushing you out the nest.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool, man. You're more interested in bringing them from the ground up.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Well, you mentioned it. We can just go ahead and get into it, man. Artists Connect. How would you describe that to people who aren't familiar?
So, Artists Connect. I'll tell you how it came to me.
Okay.
In the beginning, everyone's dream was to get signed to a major record label. So they would make like a little album, EP, even maybe a demo tape, like one song, right? But it was enough to if you can get it to an A&R or a record executive that can show it to somebody who might say you're talented, that would be enough that they might sign you, and then boom, they do everything from there. They give you the studio time, they give you money to live, they hook you up with different features with other artists on their label or other labels, and they help blow you up, essentially, right? They have all the distribution channels, whatever. In the 2000s, when I started recording as an engineer, there was a shift happening from that to, oh, the labels are screwing us. We could release our music on our own. So there was something called E1 Music, which was an independent label that didn't take, they let you have like a majority of the revenue from the CDs that you sold. But they didn't do things that major labels did. All they were doing was like basically pressing up the CDs and putting it in stores, like Tower Records or whatever, record stores were out back then. So they were just strictly distribution. That way they didn't have that much overhead and expenses, and then they can let you have more money revenue on the album, right? That was the beginning. And that really was good for artists that were like famous, but they were like one-hit wonders or two-hit wonders, or they weren't like super big artists, but they were big enough that they had a fan base that like, if I just switch to E1 Music, I'm going to make way more money off each CD, So if I go gold versus with a big label versus with E1 Music, I'm making as much as if I went like 5 times platinum, So that was smart. But then eventually the digital age got to the point with the internet and online and streaming and all that stuff. And slowly, the labels are changing their deals. Before they used to make money off the CD, right? And then they would let artists perform and do sponsorships, whatever they want to do, Sprite commercials. That's all your money. We just taking off the CDs and recouping the money that way. Then it became, nobody's really buying CDs now. So now if I'm going to do a deal, I'm eating off everything you make.
Yep.
Like right now, if you was getting paid, if an artist came and they were getting paid to be on a show or something like that, they're eating that too. Like, doesn't matter if they got the show or not or whatever. Like, I'm just, whatever money you make, I'm taking it.
Yeah.
Then it got to the point where even that wasn't feasible, right? And then you have online streaming, Apple Music, Spotify, things of that nature coming in, DistroKid, TuneCore, online streaming that you could just pay yourself and they'll put it on all these stores. So it's like, okay, yeah, we all going independent now. But you don't have any of the management resources that the labels had.
Right.
So what happens is the quality of the music goes down in the entire industry not because people are dumb or whatever. Has nothing to do with that. It has to do with the fact that artists need to be able to focus all their energy on being an artist and being the best artist that they can be. That means that when the labels used to give them money to live and take care of all the other stuff, they could just focus on being the best artist, get the best music. And imagine all the artists getting that kind of deal. You got way better music in general. Now, all the artists not doing that, trying to juggle all these things themselves, you only have so much time in a day, and it takes you away from being in your bag. Right. So you don't make as good music as you would, and you turn it into like it becomes like too much of a hustle. Like it becomes like you're forced to make cookie cutter music or what's the trend right now, and then just everything sucks, Like everything just has a way duller sensation. Then you're like, man, the 80s was so good. Music was so good in the 80s and the 90s and the early 2000s, whatever. Why are we doing that? Nobody ever used to do that. Yeah. We only started doing that because of this, and nobody's talking about this. Yeah. I saw it happen in front of me over the course of time, and I knew it because they kept asking me for stuff. They're like, yo, Sage, you could be my manager? I'm like, yo, I can't be the manager of like 500 artists. Yeah. Like, I'm not going to be able to do it.
Yeah.
But I knew people. I was like trying to hook them up. Let me collaborate with, you know what? There's a singer I know. You could hook up with her and do a song with her and da-da-da. Or I know a drummer. Or I knew people because I was like, my studio is like Grand Central Station. Like everybody's coming through there. So I was Artist Connect. But I didn't know like how far I could take this. Yeah. So then one day I was flying to South by Southwest, and all of a sudden the idea hit me for Artist Connect. If I make an app that does everything that I do for an artist and essentially replaces the record label and is like a virtual manager for an indie artist. And I'll have all the resources. Anybody could register on the app as a photographer, as a DJ, as a graphic designer, as an influencer, marketer, musician, singer, the whole industry in one app. And they could pay each other, do contracts with each other, do their taxes. It'll help them manage a lot of different things and help them grow their careers. So I was like, yo, I need to make this app. And I drew out the entire app on the barf bags that was in the plane in front of me because I didn't have any paper, I didn't have anything to write with. And I called the flight attendant over, and I was like, I need something, a pen and paper. She's like, I have a pen, I don't have a paper. I had to draw everything on a barf bag. I still have them. So I kept them. So I had to find a programmer. I couldn't afford like a huge programmer or a big company. So I found this young programmer in New York. I was like, look, this is what my vision is. Would you help me build it? I'll pay you like bi-weekly from the money that I make in the studio. So I got rid of my car. I got rid of my apartment, slept out of my studio for 3 years just to take the money that I would make from sessions and keep paying to build this app slowly until I got a beta version. Then we were doing trial and error. Then we were doing updates, changes. Spent a lot of money, you know what I mean, to get this thing done. And now we're at a point where the app is essentially done for iPhones, and we're working on an Android version now. So the dream is to get every artist in the world, first in America, to see that this is the solution for what their needs are, to be able to get all their stuff done on an app that's designed for that, for their career, to help them advance their careers.
Man.
Wow.
That was a lot.
No, that was, but that was very well put.
Very well put. Very informative, man.
I mean, at first glance, like we downloaded the app, we checked it out. I think just from me, just briefly looking at it, it's very nice, well put together. I definitely see the potential.
Yeah.
I think the work you're doing over there it's gonna work.
Yeah,
it's definitely gonna work.
Yeah. Now we're looking for people to partner with, and relationships is everything. So we're still building our team. We're looking for a social media manager now, somebody who's really good at creating content and also knows like how to use like the pixel and the retargeting and all this kind of stuff, the SEO stuff, to kind of like make sure all the right people are always seeing your stuff. So we would love to have somebody like that. Looking for investors, people who want to help market it, get more users on there, because the more users we have, the better it's going to be.
Yeah.
And then at one point it's going to get to a point where it's going to, have its own momentum, and it's going to become the next big thing.
Yeah. Yeah, the users are pretty much like, I don't want to say the backbone, but like they're very important to the app. Like
essential.
Yeah, very essential. Like the time when I was on there, I was just looking like, sometimes we need a photographer. I just hit photographer on there, just scroll through. I mean, it's very simple, very easy to use, and I mean, resourceful already, I'd say.
Yeah.
It's only gonna get crazier, and I'm focusing on the Dallas-Fort Worth area as our main market now, because what I was doing before was just advertising it everywhere on social media, and so we have 4,400 users, but they're spread out across the United States. So there's not enough in any one city for people to really use the app a lot. So I was like, all right, well, where can I was like, I might as well start in Dallas. Friendliest people I've ever met in my life. You know what I mean? Open, a lot of music here, a lot of talent, and I'm here. So I'm ready to like go in, and in 2025, we're going to make DFW the capital of Artist Connect.
Yeah, from our own experience, from what we're learning, the talent here is unbelievable, and given opportunities like this, I think it's a good market for sure.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, how have you been finding the talent out here?
So I originally did a partnership with the Makers Gym. Shirt I'm wearing right now. I'm repping the Makers Gym. We did 6 open mic nights, and that was last year. Going from the summer into January, and there was a lot of talent performing. It was open mic night, and they all knew about Artist Connect, just letting them know about the app, like that. Then I met Jenna from the Love Mic. She came up to me, and she actually came to one of the events, and she was like, "I love what you're doing. This is amazing." And she was like, "I have my own open mic at Sundown at Granada." She was like, "Come through." I was like, "Come through." I looked at it. I was like, "Wow. I love the location. I love what she's doing." And she really wanted to be a part of what we were doing. Like, she wanted to be like a partner. So we talked, had a couple of conversations. I wanted to see consistently if the Love Mic was what it was the first time I saw it, and it was. And she has a great community, a great setup, amazing in downtown Dallas every Monday. She's doing the Love Mic, and we partnered together. So now it's the Love Mic powered by Artist Connect app. So every artist that performs at the Love Mic gets exposure and support from the Artist Connect app. We're doing an Artist of the Month now. So like every performer who performs this month will be in the raffle towards the winner of the Artist of the Month. So just by performing there, you're automatically entered to win the Artist of the Month. And if you win that, we promote you on the app. We help you set up your profile, give you some accolades, put you on our banner, a whole host of things. But that's just one way. Yeah. We're looking to make partnerships with as many people as possible. So
right.
Well, we have a few artists that tune in to here, so pull up to the Love Mic.
Yeah, definitely pull up to the Love Mic. And every Monday, sundown in Granada, the show starts at 7. Just come sign up at 6:30, and I'll be there. Yeah, we could talk about ways to help you promote, help you grow your fan base.
Yeah, and most definitely just get signed up on the Artist Connect app for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
And me and Mike, we've checked out the Love Mic, and that's a great place for exposure.
Yeah, definitely a lot of talent.
A lot of talent, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of talent, and and it's consistent too. That's the crazy. It's like so dope because it's like every Monday, I'll see a lot of the same artists coming back too, and new artists. There's always new artists, and there's always other artists that are constantly supporting that. So it's a great community. It's gonna be a lot of fun. But yeah, excited.
Yeah, for sure. So a lot of platforms say that they help artists connect, but they don't really feel to have a real connection. Mm-hmm. How does Artist Connect actually help artists turn connections into something meaningful?
So with the Artist Connect app, there's several ways. One is that we have a bulletin board where you can post whatever the opportunity is that you have in the moment, right? And it might be like, okay, I need an engineer. Maybe you had an engineer and they're not available. Or I need a photographer. Maybe you had a photographer, they're not available. Or an artist that you want to collaborate with. I have a strategy for artists where I say the more artists that you collaborate with, the more fan bases you're exposing yourself to. Mm-hmm. So you can essentially find, if we can get every artist in DFW to be on the app, you could literally do a collaboration with every artist in the DFW, and everyone will know you. If you get on everybody's, get a record with everybody, or as many people as you can. And the way we make it easy is that you can post it on the gig board, and you can target a specific demographic to get a notification about your post and that opportunity. So if you're like, yo, I need a singer on this record, you can post it and say, target every single singer in the DFW area. And it'll show you like there's, 223 singers on the app in the DFW area. Do you want to target them all? Yes. Every single one of them will get a banner notification on their phone and an email saying there's an opportunity where somebody wants you as a singer. Wow. And forward them to your post. So we created a situation, a feature that helps facilitate collaborations in the moment, like as it's happening. And because life is, I can't tell you what's going to happen. Right. You're doing whatever you're going to do. But at any moment, you're going to need somebody. And that's when you open up the app and you make that post, and it targets them right away. And they're already on the app waiting to get hired. And vice versa. When they need somebody like you, you'll get the notification. So we foster collaborations that way. Whereas other platforms, people just register and they just sit there and fish, and like nothing happens. This is incentivizing you to, in the moment, tell us what you need, and we'll get it instantly to everybody who needs to see it.
That's a great feature. Yeah. That's a really great feature.
That's actually the last feature that I built in. There's a lot of other things in there that help artists, but that's like the most prominent new feature that I built that is like really simple, easy to use. And like you said, users are the backbone. So I just need more people. The more people that's on there, the more that feature is going to be used.
Yeah. Aside from that, I think what separates an app like Artist Connect from just like hitting someone up on Instagram is people are going into the app with the intention of working with people,
Yep.
And that should tell you, like, if you want to work with someone, get on the Artist Connect.
Even when you make a profile, you can't just chat with anybody. Yeah. There's no like, hey, let's just chat.
Yeah. What's up, bro?
You have to put prices for what you do.
Yeah.
And they have to tap on one of your services to initiate a conversation about that service. And then that turns into a chat space, which turns into a written agreement automatically.
Wow.
So that's another thing that we do, because I know artists, working with them for more than 20 years, the whole idea of like having a contract, and then like I have to look at the contract, and that's separate from the conversation that I had, and it gets muddy. So what I said was, why don't I make the conversation into the contract? You're going to have this initial conversation with the person, telling them about what you want. This is what I need, yada, 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 whatever. And then we convert that into the contract as you're speaking to them. And you can pay them through the app, and you should pay them through the app, and also collect payments through the app, because every time you collect a payment through the app, you move up in rank, and it shows that you're like a serious artist in whatever your craft is.
Oh wow.
So we reward artists that have a good work ethic through the application, and that's a big deal too, because if you're looking for somebody who's a rapper or singer or photographer or whatever, and you search and you see all these different people, let's say you like 2 different people's work, and you don't know who to go with, you can see how many successful jobs they completed. One might have a bunch, one might not have any. And now you know, like, well, if I got to pick between the 2, this one's most likely more reliable because they've completed this many jobs. So it's getting them in the system and rewarding them for their work ethic, asking them to do everything professionally through the app, and it's still fun and exciting to find people to collaborate with. So
That's cool, man. Do you ever think of maybe incorporating like a rating type system?
So the thing is, I have a patent on the ranking system.
Okay.
And it took 5 years to get that patent, because the USPTO, they're not giving patents out that easy. You know, a patent is a patent. They could be worth millions of dollars potentially. And the patent is on something that I call the objective value ranking system. So reviews are subjective.
Yeah.
If somebody says, man, it was the greatest, whatever, da-da-da, you don't know if that's their homeboy. You don't know if it's like, if they just felt like sad, like I don't want to leave a bad review because I'm not that kind of person. And then you get screwed if, God forbid, you take up that service and you're like, this ain't nothing like the reviews, right?
Yeah.
This happens all the time. So what I said was, you could leave reviews, but that's not how you're going to show up higher or lower in the ranking system. If there's 50 photographers or DJs or whatever that category is, you're showing up higher based on how many people successfully paid you, completed the job, paid you for the service, and then how many of them hired you again for the same service. So if I paid you, right, to do whatever, and then I paid you again to do the same kind of service, like let's say, a DJ, you're a DJ, I hired you as a DJ for a party, paid you, and then I hired you again. That second one in the ranking system, that the AI that we built looks at that and it says, you definitely know what you're doing. Because whatever happened, I don't need to read a paragraph.
Yeah.
The person hired you again and paid you again for the same service. You must be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it takes every repeat customer, and that becomes a value. So now, let's say you have 50 jobs done, right? You got 50 jobs done, but all 50 of your jobs are one-time customers. It's good. You're showing up higher than people who don't have 50 jobs, but all 50 of his jobs, 25 of them are repeat customers. So it's 25, and then all 25 of them hired him again. Even though you both have 50 jobs, he's going to show up higher in the search results because the AI is saying that for sure he's good.
Yeah.
You may be good, you're showing up, but he's showing up higher.
I'm killing it.
He's killing
Yeah.
I like that. That's really smart because
I know that sounded very real,
No,
but it was hypothetical. Ladies
Hypothetical.
and gentlemen,
we both get.
I'm not trying to, put anybody down. It just happened to play out that way.
I think that's a really good idea because, I only think about leaving reviews on something if I'm upset. So you'll tend to get bad reviews more than you'll get a good review. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or just a regular like, oh yeah, he did good review.
Yeah.
You only get
That's
reviews when you're just angry a lot of times. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
So that's a really good idea.
Yeah.
So how does the payments work when you making a payment on there.
So if somebody were to book you, you have it says set the estimate of the price based on the details of the job. So when you start talking to somebody, your starting price is what's on your profile, but it could change based on the details. So let's say you say, photography, headshots, $100, right? And then somebody connects with you for that service. They start talking. They're like, I need this, I need that, I need this, I need that, I need this. Like, all right, it's more than $100. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
$200 based on all these extra things that are, above and beyond the basic price. They agree to it in the chat. If they agree to it, you set a deposit. They can see that. You talk about the deposit. Say whatever it is that you need. I need half. And then you talk about the cancellation policy. If the date of the gig is on March 30th, if you cancel by March 28th, I keep the deposit. Or March 20th, whatever you say, and whatever they agree on in the chat is saved as a transcript in the system.
Okay.
Oh,
right?
okay.
So now they say yes. Okay, they pay the deposit. If they don't cancel by the cancellation date and they just disappear or something like that, whatever, you get the deposit. You file a ticket and it automatically shows like, the person, it didn't cancel or they try to cancel after the date that's in the transcript. So they can't do a chargeback or anything like that. You get that money. So we protect you in that. We're like an insurance policy.
Yeah.
In the same fashion, if you were the one paying and the service provider didn't show up, let's say, I was there, I was ready to go, or I was ready to, I don't know, they never finished the job, whatever. So we emailed the service provider. You start the ticket, and we contact them. Either they don't respond or they do respond. They can't provide proof that they showed up or they finished the job, whatever the job is, then you get your deposit back. I can tell you this. I have a photographer in New York who's my boy, and because of that, he actually was using the app in the early stages. And it was hard for him to get people to download the app because they were like, oh, another app or whatever. When it's not popular, nobody knows what it is. Yeah. They get kind of scared. But for the ones that did, he said that, you know what I noticed, Sage? He said, every time I got someone to download the app and put the deposit, they never canceled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But every other person who refused to download the app or just wanted to pay on Cash App, half the time they're canceling or they're changing the date or they're changing something or whatever, or they're being, they're not being ethical with the way that they're handling things. So it prevents that scenario from even happening because of how serious things are in the transaction process. So it'd be really rare for anything to go wrong. But even in that case, it's an insurance for you. So if you work with Zelle and Cash App and PayPal, you don't have any of that. There's no insurance. They don't care what happens. It happens. It happens. You sent the money. Too bad. So sad. We provide insurance. We do take a fee, 7% for now, but you put that into your cost of your service. So if you're charging $200, charge $210, to cover the cost of whatever that percentage the fee is or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, and that's one thing too that's hard to find these days is something like that, like an insurance policy, because there's a lot of people that cancel or they won't show up, or like whoever you book with, they disappear.
They ghost you, right?
Yeah, you want to know, you want people who are serious. Like if I wanted to be on this podcast, like so I'm serious about it.
Yeah.
If you created a system, fill out a form, whatever, you could have made it more, whatever, but that also helps in some way prevent people that are unreliable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you'll be like, okay, so there's a few things that you got to do and you're not even doing them. Then it's like, or you're not even keeping in contact to let me know what's going on or something like that. You have a few, what's the word I'm looking for? Not pits. What do you call it? What is it? Whatever. I'm not trying to look stupid on this
Speed
podcast.
bumps.
Yeah, some kind of checkpoints.
Checkpoints. Okay.
Checkpoints.
Yeah, checkpoint.
So that's essentially what that is.
Yeah.
Creating some checkpoints, and then it'll filter out like people who are serious versus people who are not serious. So that's part of my mission, is to try to make sure that whenever you get a notification on Artist Connect, if you see a notification from Artist Connect, it's because of it's an opportunity for you to get paid or to do a collaboration, something that's going to help your career.
Right.
It's never going to be just randomness.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of that, what kind of artists benefit the most from using Artist Connect? Is it like mainly musicians or producers, engineers, photographers, etc.?
That's a good question. I would say engineers, rappers, and singers. Really because they are going to be, well, engineers are going to be like they're constantly getting booked, right? So if they were to choose the Artist Connect platform instead of Zelle or whatever else method that they're doing, not only would they get paid, but they would move up in a ranking system and get exposed to new clients that would have never seen them before. So it makes sense for an audio engineer to say, I'll bump up my rate just a few dollars more and be on the Artist Connect app because every time I get paid, one new client that you would have never got before off the app will make up for all the fees that will ever happen on the app. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So you got to be smart about it. And then there's people that are going to be coming from outside of DFW, outside of your town. When they come, they're visiting. If they need an engineer or they're trying to see who's like the hottest engineer in the city, don't you want to be number one on the Artist Connect app? We're not stopping. So you only benefit by being on the app early and getting a foothold and getting ahead of the race, Mm-hmm. And for artists, it's really just being able to collaborate with other artists. I need every artist to understand you want to do features with every artist that you can possibly do it with, that it makes sense to do it with. Right. You get exposure to their fan base. That's organic exposure. And all it takes is you hear an artist once, then you hear him a second time on somebody else's song. Then you hear him a third time on somebody else's. After the third or fourth time, you'll be like, yo, who is this? Mm-hmm. Who's this singer? Who's this rapper? Like, who is this?
Right.
And then most likely you'll follow them because nobody, you don't see that often. You might see somebody once or maybe twice, right? But if you see an artist like on so many different features, like keep bumping into them sonically on the internet, you're gonna be like, all right, you know what? I think I need to follow this person because they're going places. That's the strategy. Yeah. That's the gem. Yeah. You lose nothing, especially when it's a feature for somebody else's project. It's not even your project.
Right.
When it's your own project, that's when you're meticulous and, oh, my God, I have a vision and all this other stuff. Yeah, okay. But in between time or while you're doing your project, you should be doing features with other artists. Yeah. Let them handle their own vision. Yeah. Just get on their record, This is being smart about it. And this is how you expose yourself to so many different fans that you literally grow your fan base. Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Have you seen any cool collabs come out of this since you created the app?
I saw one when I was testing it. See, the thing is, I've been so focused on just building it and working the bugs out, trying to get the Android version out. I'm still not in the mode of fully just you know what I mean?
Sitting back and looking.
Let me just focus on just collaborate. I just now started that because now that I have the partnership with the Love Mic and I have a little bit of help, I have a little bit of a team. Now I could. You can't do this by yourself. Yeah. Teamwork makes the dream work. Yeah. Whoever said that, they really that was a perfect little thing. It's so true. So I've been doing this by myself for so long, trying to just get this done. Contracting whoever I can. Now I'm at a point where I'm like, all right, I need to build a team so that I can focus all my energy on now focusing on those collaborative moments, I just onboarded users. I was just getting the people to sign up, but I wasn't focusing on that part of it. Now I am. Yeah. In New York, I had a crowd, so I already saw some collaborations happen there. So I had a few with a rapper and a producer, a dope producer who just made alternative music, and he wanted a rapper. And he went on the app, and one of my clients, I said, yo, there's a producer. I kind of gave him the heads up that this guy's looking for something, so hit him up or whatever. So it kind of happened that way. It wasn't 100% organic. I was kind of the mastermind behind it, but it turned out to be a great collaboration. There was another artist, 2 rappers that collaborated on the app in New York. That came out great. And then they recorded the session at my place. So a few collaborations, but now I'm focused on getting right here in the DFW through the Love Mic in particular, trying to get people to collaborate and see how those things come out.
Yeah. 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 Like you said, teamwork makes the dream work. I feel like that's pretty much the whole theme of the app as well. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So how is your team for the app come together?
It's coming together good now. Like
Yeah.
we kicked off the year. I got the Love Mic. That's like the biggest partnership I got so far. Well, not just the big. No, actually, there's a software programmer, who is phenomenal. Like his resume is incredible, and I got hooked up to him through a mutual friend from Jenna from the Love Mic, and he loved everything about what I was doing with Artist Connect, and we just got together. I'm actually setting up the agreement with him now, and once that's finalized, he's gonna be our senior programmer on the app, which is gonna make it. First of all, we'll have the Android version done in a matter of months.
Okay.
And the app itself is going to be a lot more intuitive because now I don't have to keep, trying to go back and forth making money to pay to even make a change or whatever, because it's hard. I've moved to Texas. Almost all of my clients are still in New York. So my money situation is not like how it used to be, when I was living out the studio in New York. Yeah. So now I'm trying to really leverage my relationships and try to be as effective as possible with the money that I have. But having this new programmer, having the Love Mic, looking for a social media manager, somebody who knows how to do social media really well. So I think so far it's going good. We're in March, so you never know. Maybe by next month I'll have my social media person, and then it'll take it to a whole nother level. So it's just going up from here, going up.
For sure.
So the big question, is the app free to use?
The big question. That was the big question.
Big question.
The app is free to download, make a profile, set up shop, connect your bank account, set up prices for what you do, which, by the way, we use Stripe, so I don't keep any banking information. It's an API. You go through Stripe. And then it costs money to do a boost on a post. What I was talking about earlier when I said that if you want to shoot the post directly to a specific demographic, that's an in-app purchase right now.
Okay.
But it's only $1.50.
Oh, that's an easy $1.50.
So I'm trying to encourage people, just be posting every day, every other day. Just keep boosting, connect, start talking to each other. And that's like a limited time only thing, only because I just wanted people to get used to the feature. But even when I put the real prices on it, it's still going to be way cheaper than what Instagram charges. Right. Because Instagram's charging per day for impressions, right? Impressions is going to people who fall within the demographic that you set that may or may not be serious about their art, you know? So you'll get in front of this many people in between a bunch of ads. On Artist Connect, every single user that it says this is how many users, they're getting a direct banner notification on their phone, not an impression, and an email to their registered email saying that there's an opportunity specifically for you. Right. So it's way more bang for your buck. So that's gonna be a feature that is probably gonna be the biggest feature that we have. It also we're charging for advertising space, but only with users. So on the home screen banner, when you first open the app, there's a banner on the top, and we'll have like a top 10 artists of the month kind of thing, or like premier artists, and then you can pay to be in the banner for the month. So just DM us about that, because that's a whole detail I have to like look into, exactly what they want. And then there's a fee for transactions. So I don't get money until the job is actually done. And then you get, the fee comes out from the seller side, so the service provider is the one. And then, like I said, they upmark their price a little bit to cover the fee anyway. We tell them to do that. So yeah, that's really it. We'll probably have a subscription model, maybe by the end of the year, maybe before that, depending on how things play out, where like you'll get this many ad boosts, you'll get reduced transaction fees. I'll make it make sense. Make it make sense.
Like an Artist Connect Plus type situation.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, you mentioned that feature, the boost feature. Is there any other features that you're pretty proud of that the app has?
This is cool. There's an income and expense sheet that gets built for you automatically. And that's so that another incentive to do all your transactions in the app, because every artist out there, listen up, you should already know this if you don't, everything you spend money on to make a product, if it's an album, an EP, a single, is all tax deductible. So if you spent $20,000 in a year on studio time, music videos, photography, graphic design work, models, DJs, whatever it is, anything for your album, because your space of business, all of that is tax deductible. You don't got to pay tax on that money, but you will be paying tax on that money if you don't write it all off, on your tax return. But the problem people have is that they got to look for receipts. I paid this dude on Zelle. I paid so-and-so on Cash App. I paid what's the name on whatever. And it's so tedious that nobody wants to do it. Right? So if I tell you, if you just do all your payments through Artist Connect, every time you pay or get paid, it automatically puts it in the right place in your income expense sheet for the year. At the end of the year, you can see everything and you can know exactly what to write off. And that's easy for you to do. Now, I know most people don't do their taxes or they're just not interested in doing it. But if you're trying to get a crib, you're trying to buy a house, if you're trying to move up in the world, again, I'm trying to empower artists to make this into a real career and make a living off of it and be able to provide for a family in the future or now, and have all your affairs in order. And so that's another cool feature that we have on Artist Connect. So you got the contract thing, got the tax thing, got the ad boosting thing, advertise. It's like we have a whole bunch of things going on the app. So there's a lot of value.
Yeah, that's very important.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, app sounds great. We like what we've seen from the app so far. You guys download Artist Connect for sure.
Yeah,
check that app.
What are your goals for? What are your goals for by the end of the year? Where do you want Artist Connect to be?
The goal by the end of the year. By the end of the year, I want the DFW to any artist in the DFW is like, I'm on Artist Connect. I just want to focus. I want to make one solid city that is the model city for the rest of the cities in the United States of America. And then from there, of course, international. But we're going to start here. Yeah. So at the end of 2025, I want every artist to know what Artist Connect is in the DFW area. I want them to be on it, using it to collaborate, to connect in the moment when you need somebody and you want to do that post and you just want to say, yo, I need whatever. Just really making collabs happen. Like, I want so much music coming out of DFW that's happening because collaborations were happening through Artist Connect app. Yeah. That's my goal for the end of 2025.
Yeah, I think that's very attainable. You're already on the right track, man.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. But before we get out of here, why don't you tell the people where they can find you at? Where you
can find me at GM Audio Engineer. So GM AUDIO Engineer. That's my Instagram, personal Instagram. Hit me up for deals on recording, mixing, and mastering. I've been engineering for more than 20 years. I promise you record with me once or get a mix or master from me once, that won't be the only time. You'll be very satisfied. Yeah. Also, if you perform at the Love Mic, anybody who performs at the Love Mic is getting a special rate with me with recording, mixing, mastering, any kind of audio editing, any kind of audio service. So hit me up if you're going to perform at the Love Mic, or if you've already performed at the Love Mic, hit me up, DM me, and I'll be sending out a flyer too about the deals that I'm going to be doing as well. And then for Artist Connect, at Artist Connect app, altogether one word. And my app is the one with the power symbol. So there's a few, I don't want to say fakers, in the App Store that are called Artist Connect or Connector or Connected or whatever. It's like one letter off or some extra period or something like that. Ours is the one with the power button, the AC logo. So make sure you get that one. Yeah. And then that's another reason why I need a social media manager, because we got to fix the SEO to get me on top. And we need more downloads too. So that'll get it there.
Can you book your engineering services through the Artist Connect app?
Yeah. You can book me through the app.
Yeah.
So I'm there ready for hire. So
cool.
That's good. Even the boss man's on there.
Yeah. What is that? Remember that commercial? Y'all might be too young. I'm not only a client, I'm also the president. I know. I'm not only the president. No, I don't even know it anymore. See what's going on? I'm not only a client, I'm the president.
Yeah, I don't remember that commercial.
Yeah.
So Biggie took it. Biggie Smalls took that line because the commercial was famous at that time, where he says,
One more chance.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm the player president or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
He changed it from there.
I had no idea what that reference was for.
Yeah, it was a commercial. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm not only a client, I'm also the president.
Okay. Yeah.
The world is it's a true world, and I'm just a citizen in my own world.
Yeah.
So it's kind of weird, but
Yeah.
I have to play by my own rules too. If there's another engineer that takes me out the game within my own framework, so be it.
Yeah.
That'll probably eventually happen because I'll probably retire or end up doing something else, become fully in the CEO duties.
Yeah. Solely focused.
Yeah, and then I'll be like, "Go, my child, like just take this."
Yeah.
Well, hey, we appreciate you sitting down with us. It was a long time coming, so
Yep,
we're happy that we were able to get you on.
Yep. Let me know. I'll be back anytime. Whenever there's something else you want to talk about, let's get into it. But gems have been dropped here.
Yeah.
Telling
for
you.
sure.
Yes.
The music industry information, why music sucks, how it's gonna get better. Artist Connect is what's gonna change everything back.
Yeah.
That's the renaissance. It's gonna come through. Artist Connect app is gonna make the music industry how it used to be again.
Yeah.
Mark my words.
But don't just listen to us. Check it out. Artist Connect app on the App Store, on Apple App Store for now. Android coming soon.
Android coming soon.
And of course, you know where to follow him on Instagram. So
And find them at the Love Mike,
true.
Sundown at Granada.
Every Monday, be there.
That's right.
Powered by the Artist Connect app, man.
Yeah. But yeah. Anyway, thank you for coming on, man.
No problem, man.
All
great.
right.